Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to share with you a story that's been making headlines and stirring quite a bit of conversation across South Africa. It involves Gayton Mackenzie, a well-known political figure, and his recent strong statement about President Cyril Ramaphosa potentially removing him from his ministerial position. Stay with me till the end to hear the full details, the sources, and to verify the news yourself. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing for honest, straightforward updates on what's happening in our country. Recently, Gayton Mackenzie made some headlines after publicly warning that if President Ramaphosa were to remove him as a minister, you don't know what is coming. This is a serious statement that caught many people's attention because it hints at possible unrest or actions that could follow such a political move. For ordinary South Africans watching, it's important to understand who Gayton Mackenzie is, why his words matter, and what this could mean for our political landscape. Gayton Mackenzie is a member of parliament and was recently appointed as a deputy minister. He's known for being outspoken and having a strong presence both in politics and on social media. His background is quite unique, once involved in business and later using his experience to rise politically. He often speaks directly and passionately, which gains him both supporters and critics. In his statement, Mackenzie seems to be responding to ongoing speculation about cabinet reshuffles and possible removals in the government. Cabinet reshuffles are common in South African politics and can happen for various reasons, including political strategy, performance, or party dynamics. But for a minister to issue such a warning publicly is unusual and suggests tensions behind the scenes. For many South Africans, this brings mixed feelings. On one hand, Mackenzie's directness appeals to those tired of political doublespeak and corruption. They see him as someone who is willing to speak out and challenge the status quo. On the other hand, the threat of "you don't know what is coming" raises concerns about stability and the possibility of political conflict that could affect everyday lives. It's important to keep in mind that South Africa is still recovering from several years of political and economic challenges. The public is weary of infighting and power struggles that don't seem to improve the living conditions for ordinary people. When a political leader hints at unrest, it's natural for people to feel anxious about what this might mean for the future. Mackenzie's statement also invites us to reflect on the relationship between the president and his ministers. President Ramaphosa has been under pressure to deliver on promises of reform and clean governance since taking office. Balancing competing interests within his party, the African National Congress, and the country as a whole is no easy task. Ministers who publicly challenge the president or threaten consequences might complicate this balance further. It's worth noting that political threats or warnings can sometimes be a strategy to gain leverage or to rally support. Mackenzie's words might be aimed at showing strength or deterring any attempts to remove him. Whether there will be any follow-through remains to be seen, but it certainly adds drama to an already tense political environment. For ordinary South Africans, the main question is, how will all this affect you? Politics can often feel distant, but the reality is that political stability or instability has a direct impact on service delivery, economic growth, and social cohesion. If tensions escalate, there could be disruptions that affect jobs, safety, and opportunities. This moment is also a reminder of the importance of paying attention to political developments with a critical eye. It's easy to get swept up in headlines and dramatic statements, but it's crucial to understand the facts and verify information. Political discourse should always serve the interests of the people and not just the ambitions of a few. In response to Mackenzie's statement, some political analysts and commentators have urged calm and patience. They remind the public that South Africa's democracy is resilient and that mechanisms exist to handle political disagreements through dialogue and legal processes. While political tension is part of any democracy, the hope is that it remains peaceful and constructive. To add some perspective, it's helpful to remember that cabinet reshuffles and political maneuvering have been part of South Africa's political fabric for decades. Some reshuffles have led to positive changes, while others have caused uncertainty. As citizens, the best thing we can do is stay informed, hold our leaders accountable, and support efforts that promote transparency and good governance. Before we close, I want to acknowledge that news like this can be unsettling. Politics affects all of us, and hearing threats or warnings from leaders can cause worry. But it's also a chance to engage more actively with what's happening around us and to ask the tough questions we need answers to. Thank you for sticking with me through this update. The sources for this report include statements from Gayton himself, reports from local South African media outlets, political analysts, and official government communications. Take care, stay informed, and see you next time.